Let's do it.
Okay, and we're recording. Welcome everyone to the Breakfreeced Club episode 36. I don't think I've ever said the episode number since maybe the first episode, but this is episode 36. If anyone was interested, and we're here with Diggzdaprophecy. What's going on?
Salutations, everyone.
I can't believe it's taken and this is through no fault of anyone but me, but it has taken this long to get you on an episode. It's kind of crazy to me.
I guess you just started loving me. You ain't loved me back then, so I don't know. I don't know.
I think the problem is the way that my brain works is every time I put one thing in, something else falls out, and so I think I don't know. Like I couldn't even tell you what was in there before. Make sure Diggz gets on the show because it fell out as soon as that went in. So probably wasn't important. But in any case, I'm glad you're here now. Let's see. Oh, I should. You know what? As long as I'm doing things that I never remember to do on this show, I should at the top, which I always forget to do, say the Breakfast Club is recorded live on twitch.tv/freeced to 6e's in the middle. It's FREEEEEECED. Every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's New York time. So hop into the chat every week for that if you want to swing
with
by.
all the E's.
Yeah, with all those E's.
All the E's.
six E's, double E.
Free C.
Double E'd up on a Wednesday.
Man, double. More than.
I think it's it's triple the E's that are normally in the middle of freeced. See, I always want to say freeced with 6 E's, but I always have to say freeced with 6 E's in the middle because there's another E after the C. What is it? What's the rule? 6 E's before C except after the C? 6 E's in freeced except after C.
That must be the new rule, but hey, man, I'm down to adopt it.
It's that common core. It's that, yeah. Yeah. I guess I'll have to ask like one of my local teacher friends because I don't understand the new curriculum. I didn't understand the old curriculum. I don't understand the new curriculum. Anyway, that's the chance. Just go to the description of this YouTube video and check out all the links where you can listen to this show live and find both me and Diggz around. But we'll give you another recap on some links at the end of the episode. But yeah, all that aside, how's it going? How's your day? How's the vibe?
You know me, man, pretty much chilling. I honestly just got off work probably about an hour ago. So yeah, I was pretty much chilling for about a half an hour before getting ready to do this. So no, you know me, calm, relaxed, nothing different, bro.
Yeah,
I'm always vibing. There's
one thing that is true about Diggz. Two things about Diggz. Goated, always vibing. Those are two immutable facts.
Well, thank you.
Yes, so we both just kind of came from just like busy to like pure chill. Because like I was saying before we started recording, I was out just like running around all over town doing errands and whatnot.
Yeah. Hey, man, you got to get them errands done, bro. You got to get them done. You don't want to, because you might get too lazy to do them later. So I feel your pain on that one.
That's honestly, that's kind of why I ended up doing them like today at this time is because I was supposed to do them last night. And then here's what happened, right? And this is not uncommon for me. I was up. I woke up at like 7 p.m. on Sunday, something like that. Because I think I took like a nap in the middle of the day because I've been like working on stuff before that. Friday and Saturday, I'm just working like all day on stuff. So Sunday, I like took a nap. At some point in all of this, I watched all of Invincible. And then I woke up I worked solid through the night, and then I was on the on Mikatastrophe's Traveler game, which is
Yeah.
on Tuesday. Wait a minute. So I guess it was Monday that I woke up. Okay, hold on. My timeline is off. Because Monday. Okay, here's what happened. Shift that over a day. I woke up at like 7 on Monday. I did a late stream on Monday. Stayed up, watched Invincible, wrote a verse for Game Boy. Did the Traveler stream, and then after that I was like, all right, I'm gonna grab an hour nap. I'd been up for over 24 hours at that point. I was like, I'm gonna grab an hour nap, and I'm gonna go do these errands. And then 9 hours later, I woke up, and I was like, I was looking at my alarm like, I specifically told you to wake me up. And it was like, bro, you turned me off. And I was like, the hell I did.
Hey man, busy. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah. And you know what? I can't really complain because I've been busy with, music and I've been, a lot of people being like, hey, you want to be on this? Hey, you want to be on this? And it's like people I really want to work with, stuff I really want to be on. I mean, you know about that. You do hella features.
Yeah. I just had a bunch of features this week too. I had ironically, I think we might be on the same Game Boy track if it's what I'm thinking.
I think it probably is, but yeah.
Yeah, so I just sent him my verse for that yesterday. So I had to do that. Jacob Cass hit me up to do a verse. I had to send a verse to Rice. And that was was that Sunday? Did I send him the verse? It was either Sunday or Saturday I sent him that verse. But yeah, I've been cranking out verses for like the past 4 or 5 days like a madman.
Yeah. What's your so I was gonna ask this at some point, and I guess it just kind of fits now. But like, I would say like famously, you're always like asking like, hey, like, put me on ciphers, put me on stuff. I'll do like whatever thing, or well, not whatever thing, but like you'll basically like any anime, whatever. Like you're there. You've got a verse for it. You've got bars. How do you? I mean, first of all, you've just seen a lot of anime, but how do you approach like writing something for a thing you don't know much about, like a cipher that you don't start out with like an innate knowledge of?
Oh, well, that question is kind of hard to answer because every cipher I've been approached for or kind of put my own name into, like, bro, I'll do it. Like, I usually know at least enough material to cover 8 bars. Like, and like, because most ciphers probably you're gonna get like an 8, maybe the 12 bar verse, with very few ciphers giving you a 16, depending on how many people are in said cipher. Like. So yeah, like I pretty know at least enough of the character to do an 8 bar verse. But if I had to give an example of something, and I'm glad he just announced this on Twitter because I didn't want to just come out of nowhere and announce it. But I think it was Macro who hit me up to do a Whammy House cipher. And for those who may be uncultured, Whammy House is from Death Note, and that's the house L grew up in. Like
okay.
It's basically the orphanage. So he hit me up to do a cipher from there. So I'm thinking, all right, what character am I gonna get? I'm at least thinking I'm probably gonna get L or at worst case Mello. I got Matt, and I'm like, wait, Matt's been in what, maybe 4 scenes total throughout the damn show. Like I mean, you can find probably enough scenes AMV wise to fill like the gap. But I'm like, as far as a lore, as far as explaining a character, like you got some basic knowledge of the guy, and that's about it. So it's not really much I could play off. So I had to really think, like, how the hell am I gonna goddamn sauce this verse up for somebody who's barely in the damn anime? So what I did, I approached it like I do what I usually do with verses. I'm like, all right, let's first start with his name. How can I flip his name in some cool way? Matt. Let me see, Matt. Of course I'm not gonna give away the bars, but I'm giving you an idea of how what I wrote. So I'm like, all right, his name's Matt. What's a way to flip Matt? Oh, all right, cool. I can use that as a dope bar. I can use this as a dope bar. All right, generally, next, let's look at his personality. What type of person he is? Oh, he's this type of person. He's pretty lazy. He doesn't like doing this. He doesn't like doing that. He's a gamer. All right, I could kind of flip that and fit that into the verse. So I go based off things like that. If you give me a very obscure or limited character, which in most ciphers I've been either the obscure or limited character. And obscure could be two things. It could be one, it could be obscure to the point that he's barely in the show, or obscure to the fans that they don't really know about it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I feel like your like some of your cipher verses are kind of compared to like the way that an anime movie works sometimes, where like let me develop this analogy. So it's like so without giving anything really away for people who haven't seen the Demon Slayer movie, I would just say it's kind of like how like you get a lot of character development on one character very quickly. In that movie and in some other like anime movies where it's like, okay, you didn't know anything, or even on some anime episodes, honestly, but it's like you didn't know anything about this character at the beginning, and now you're like so attached to them. But you do that in like 8 bars sometimes. It's kind of crazy.
AKA, and I think the best example of that would be the Shonen Jump cipher. Like everybody credits me, like whether I want it or not. Everybody credits me with like, yo, you know, I started watching Food Wars because of you. So I'm like, hey, bro, like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if I dug, I could probably remember like some other bars from that cipher. But like, when I think of that cipher, there is one bar I think of.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead. You might as well just say it, bro. Go ahead. I hear it all the time.
Hey,
you might as well just say it.
I mean, listen, it's the holy grail of cipher bars. It's the gold standard. It's anytime anybody wants to write a verse for a cipher, they are trying to match the memorability of "She gon' bust from the taste of my meat. Chef Boyardee's boys always cooking up heat."
Yeah. Hey man, bro. Hey, bro. Which is funny because and I believe I also broke this down when I had the Nerdcore Central interview. Shout out to them. Now I mean, shout out to the homie Kuro and shout out to the homie Frost.
Hey, big homies.
Yeah. So when that just, bruh, I didn't even know it was gonna blow up like that. I knew people were gonna laugh, like because what I did was right. All right. So Game Boy hits me up, right? Like, hey, bro, how would you feel about being on the anime cipher? I'm like, cool. Anime about what? I said, is it about a specific character? Is it about a specific show? Or is it about anime bars, period? He was like, no. He was like, the way we do things here is he was like, it's a Shonen Jump cipher. And I'm like, all right. I said, who am I? I'm thinking, like soon as I hear Shonen Jump, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to get Goku or you feel me? I'm thinking I'm gonna get like somebody, and he was like, no. He was like, no, my boy Rustage needs somebody to be Soma from Food Wars. I'm like, what? Like, he was like, yeah. I was like, and he was like, yeah, and I brought your name up because you're the only motherfucker I know who could probably do a verse for Soma and the time he needs the verse. I was like, well, how quick does he need the verse? He was like, yo, he needs it by Friday. Mind you, he hit me up Wednesday. So I was like, damn, you need this shit in 2 days. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, I can do it, bro. I was like, how many bars? 8. I said, oh, this is going to be too easy. I was like, yeah. I said, so give the message to Rustage and let him know I'll do the West name. The even funnier part about all this is I had no idea who the fuck Rustage was at the time. I didn't know.
Really?
So I had to look him up. I had to go to YouTube and Rustage. I'm like, oh, and at the time I think Rustage had 600,000 subscribers. So I'm like, I'm like, yo, how the fuck did I not know who the hell this is? I said they got all these damn subscribers and shit. And right on key with me checking out some of the old ciphers from Rustage. I think I viewed a couple from Schwabity. I viewed a couple. I was just going through the lore of anime rap ciphers, and Rustage DMs me like, "Hey, bro, thank you for agreeing to do the cipher. Here's the beat. I absolutely need this in 2 days. So now, I mean, if you really, it'd be great if you could knock it out. If not, just please let me know beforehand." I'm like, "All right, cool." 2 hours later, I'm like, "Yo, hey, I'm done." He was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm done." He was like, "Really?" I said, "Bro, it was only 8 bars. That's nothing." And the funny thing is, I tell people it was actually faster than 2 hours. It only took 2 hours for me to get him the bars to get him the verse. Because after I finished, like in 45 minutes, I went to get something to eat. So I was like, "I'm hungry. I'll send it to him when I get back." So it really would have been like 45 minutes. So if I can, I'll take you through the process of writing this verse. I'm like, all right. I'm Soma. I said, I heard maybe 10 anime ciphers. I said, all right. I noticed immediately how most of the nerdcore rappers approach doing ciphers. I'm like, first of all, nobody's really saying no wild shit here. They'll try to make jokes or something like that, but they're not saying nothing to make the fans go, "Wait, did he really just say this shit?" Like, so I approached it that way, and then I'm like, yo, I said, I'm mostly hearing like central character based rap for these ciphers. I said, let's get a little bit more creative with this verse, and that's how I came up with the whole I'm the chef, baby Raekwon. That line. That's how I came up with the Raekwon line. And I'm like, all right, so then, and I was like, all right, so then I said some typical lore from the show about him. I said one of his quotes about "I'm ready to serve." I said something about the band on there. I said, all right, I got 4 bars left. I need to fuck this cipher up. And that's when I said, "Hey, and she gonna bust from the taste of my meat. The chef boy of these boys always coming with heat." I said, that shit is gonna fuck this. I said it to myself. I knew it right then and there. I was like, when people hear this shit, this gonna fuck this damn cipher up, because I said, ain't nobody ready for nobody to talk about some shit like this. And what do you know? The cipher comes out probably, I want to say maybe 3 weeks to a month later, and the whole fucking comment section is, "Yo, she gonna bust? Yo, is she really busting? Bruh, you heard what he said?" And bruh, all I could do was laugh. I start watching the reaction videos. As soon as my verse comes up, everybody either pauses and stares at the screen and goes, "Wait, what?" Or they just start laughing. So, bro, I was crying watching these reaction videos to that
compilation
verse,
video of all the of all the different reactions to that bar is one of my favorite things that exists. The you know what I'm talking about? Just the compilation of just the clips of every single person, every single reactor reacting to that line. Oh my god, dude!
Yeah,
I think actually you might have posted that on Facebook like a little while back. But that's
I did.
That's one. Yeah. Who did that edit? Like, did you go through and find those, or did somebody else do that?
Yeah, that was on me. I did the edit. I went through mind you, I only took maybe, I want to say maybe 10 different reactions. It was more. I could have put more, but I was like, I don't want to make this compilation too much. Like, I just put the ones I thought was the funniest, or the ones that had where people had the biggest impact, like with Scrooge taking off his glasses. Like, wait, who the fuck is this with this Wu-Tang reference?
I was gonna say he commented on the chef line, yeah. Which makes sense that he would. I feel like a lot of nerdcore reactors might not catch it, but Screw definitely would.
And then the one with Afro, when Afro heard the line, and he was like, "Fuck!"
Do you have? I haven't even.
And then the one with Kagi and Kagi started. He did not just say that. So yeah, the shit, bro. As much as people think it annoys me, everybody, I get DM'd all the time. Diggz, bro, I know you tired of hearing people recite that line. I'm like, I absolutely fucking love it. I was like, the shit makes me laugh every time I see a reaction to it, or every time someone say it's say right now, let's say somebody follows me on Twitter, right? And they inbox me. They'll be like, "Yo, Diggz, yo, big fans, such and such." And bro, let me ask you a question. Is she still busting from the meat? I'd be fucked. Yo, It's unbelievable the impact that line created, bro.
Just the ripple effect. Well, before I forget, I was gonna say, do you have on your channel? Do you have a channel trailer, and is it that video? Because I honestly feel like it should be.
My channel trailer is basically everybody's first song that they love from me, which is the Yami track.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my channel trailer. I put that one up because everybody seems to love the Yami raps. I was one of the first people to do a rap for Yami, and the shit just took off, and people went crazy over it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep it up here as my channel trailer.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I also have one of my songs as my channel trailer, but I don't know. Strong contender. I feel like that's like if people are like on Twitter and they're like, "Hey, who should I get on this cipher?" You should just post that video and be like, "If you get me on your cipher, this is the kind of impact it'll have." I mean,
it could work. It could work. And at the same time, yeah, it could work. And at the same time, it could be, they might not want all that wow energy as like for this cipher. And I don't mean for my verse. They might not just want all those crazy ass, like people just focusing on one thing. Like, I'm not saying people get jealous, but it is possible. So they might not want that type of shit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I definitely have seen from some people before where I mean, not just like a nerdcore thing, but like in general, where like people get somebody on their song and then they're like mad that they showed them up. But I've had collabs before where like I get somebody on something and then they send me their verse and I'm like, shit, I gotta rewrite my verse now because there's no, like, their verse is so good. I'm not gonna go with what I had originally. And I feel like that's the energy you want.
Yeah, and then it just gets worse with this verse because I think it's over, right? I think it's over. I think it's just gonna stay in the cipher. Rustage hits me up to do the Soma rap, and I end my verse with the cipher been done. She's still busted from the meat, and everybody goes fucking crazy again. Everybody be like, yeah, especially by the way I said it, because instead of saying the cipher been done, she been busting from the meat, I was like, the cipher been done, she still busting from the meat. So everybody went crazy over the way I said it. So again, I'm thinking, all right. I'm like, I did it for fun because I know the fans wanted to hear it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna say it again. And then now this next one is completely out of my hands. The fucking Shonen Jump 2 cipher comes up and Savvy quotes it, just making the line even more impactful. And people are like, yo, Diggz, you got to diss Savvy now. I said, I ain't got to diss nobody. She just made me more famous than I need to be by fucking bringing up the line that happened 3 to 4 months ago. I was like, y'all won't leave this shit alone.
I think there's like, I don't know what this is, but I feel like there is a small subsection of nerdcore that just really wants somebody to have beef with Savvy because when Strawberry came out with the line on I think it was the part 1 of his album, The Day, where he said these lines are twisted Savvy, like there were a number of people who were like, oh, Strawberry and Savvy have beef now, and it's like, no, that's a reference, not a diss. And like, I just realized some people don't know the difference. They think like every time you say somebody's name in a song, it's a diss. But like, I mean, anybody who listens to like even just like a few of my songs will know that I love to reference other artists as like specifically my friends in songs. I think the last like before the Wonder Egg track, like the last thing I put out in the same line referenced like Strawberry and DPS. And then it had 4 bars at the end that just talked about like a random friend of mine who's an animator on Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, wow, yeah, I just like talking about my friends and stuff. But if people would interpret that as a diss, I don't even know what to say.
I think people just want that energy because, like I said, when people came at me with it, like, Diggz, are you gonna like? I think Shara was one of the ones. At least Shara made a joke out of it. Shara said, "Oh, Diggz has the answer." She put the GIF up and all that other stuff and joking about it. But then there was some people like really DMing me, like, "Yo, are you gonna answer back to Savvy, bro? You gotta answer back to Savvy, bro. Do this." I was at the time, I never spoke to Savvy. Never spoke to her. Me and Savvy never uttered a word. I knew who she was from ciphers, but as far as that, we didn't follow each other on Twitter. We never spoke. And then she inboxes me like, "Hey, Diggz, I don't mean to bother you, but everybody thinks, I hope you don't think I was dissing you." I was like, "No, I love the line. I knew what you did. I know why you did it." I was like, I'm glad you did it. I was like, "Thank you." And of course, one thing led to another. Then that led to the Thanksgiving plate song with me and Savvy. Just to joke around and do it again for the fans. So I could it's weird because I want to say my first probably 5 months in this nerdcore community was just wow. You go from the Shonen Jump cipher to the busting of the meat and everybody going crazy. Then you go to the Shonen Jump villain cipher and everybody goes crazy over the Annie, are you okay line. And yeah, then you go back to later on. Savvy rebuttaling the line. Then after that, me and Savvy dropped the song. Everybody goes crazy over that. And then I start doing waifu tracks, and everybody like, "Yo, Diggz, yo." My first 5 months here was just fucking like eventful as shit. Like every time I turned around, it was just some crazy shit happening associated with my name, whether it was negative or positive. It just was crazy shit happening. And then I had people inbox me like, "Hey, Diggz, are you and Savvy fucking around?" I'm like, "I realize she's married, right? Like, what the hell?" Like, I'm like, "I realize I got a girlfriend too. Like, what the hell is wrong with y'all?" Like, just because we did a track together and I said we did the track for y'all as fans because y'all was asking for it. So yeah, bro, my first couple of months here were definitely fucking wild. And I won't never forget it, bro, because I want to say about 95% of it was positive, with the exception of the simping me and or motherfucking putting me and Savvy together as an item when nobody knew anything. So besides that, everything else was pretty much positive and great and fun.
I'm jealous of that kind of impact, because the first big thing I was ever on, I mean, I've talked about this before, but like the first big thing I was ever on was was Shwabity's haikyuu cipher. And I mean, I had a solid verse on that. I remember like hearing the demo and being like, "Is Dan Bull on this? Am I going to be on a track that has Dan Bull on it?" And I was like freaking out, right? And then it comes out and two things happened. Two things happened and continued to happen to me for like the next few months. First, apparently nobody had heard the word fervor before. So
wow.
I would show up in like a VC or something, or just like be around in a new server or whatever, and people would be like, "Oh, fervor," and they would just say the word fervor back to me, which is not nearly as cool as somebody saying a bar back to you. It's just a word because they just didn't know the word. Just kind of flashbacks to when my old artist name was a word, like had a word where people didn't know that word either, and then they would say that back to me because they didn't know it was a word. So here's just like fervor, just hearing fervor for like 3-4 months. And then the other thing was that in the comments of that AMV, somebody just says, "Freeced sounds like Kermit." And then that was just like, I mean, that went in like, you know, the Shwabity like buddy chat, you know, and just like everyone was just like, "Oh my God, I can't like I can't believe this." And then somebody else completely unrelated to the first person said it too, or maybe they saw their comment and they just like put it in as well. So then it was just like doubled down. And so then for like months after that and continuous, it was just this, like the two things were that Freeced says the word fervor and that he sounds like Kermit, which was never true. If anything, I've sounded like John Mulaney, but never Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
No bars ever though. Just fervor and Kermit. Actually, the first piece of fan art that I ever got was a Jixplosion original, and it is not recognizable as a piece of freeced fan art because what it is it's Tadashi from Haikyuu, but it's Kermit the Frog dressed as Tadashi from Haikyuu.
Wow.
Who obviously who I played in the cipher, which is actually now one of my Twitch emotes. I've just owned it.
I mean, you might as well.
And you know what? Since the chat appears on the screen, let me throw some frog dashis up on the screen so people can see in the video.
I mean, like I said, you might as well own it, bro. Why not, bro? Why not?
But I've been studying at the Diggz school these past few months. I've been recording for a few ciphers recently, including one we were just talking about, and I've been just trying to think like, you know what, like I know I know some of the people who are going to be on these songs. Like at present, I'm not going to be the best rapper on these, but like I'm not going to write a forgettable verse. So we'll see.
Exactly. That's how I approached it. Like I wasn't too sure if I was gonna be the best rapper or not on my first couple of ciphers there, because the only person I knew of and their skill, like truly had an understanding of their skill level, was Shara, because I found out she was on it, and Game Boy Jones, because I knew Game Boy Jones before even joining this community. So I had no idea. I'm like, all right, I might not be the best. I was like, and then I looked at it as this. I could possibly have the best verse on here. I said, let's say I write a completely crazy verse. I said, I'm completely new here. And one thing I understand is no matter how good you are, fans are biased.
Oh yeah.
Fans are very fucking biased. So I was like, I could have the best verse on this damn cipher. Ain't nobody gonna care about it over Rustage, I just started naming names of people to myself that I seen on ciphers before. Mind you, I didn't know who none of these people were. I didn't know who Rustage was. I didn't know who Schwabity was. I didn't know who Conquest was. I didn't know who Dizzy 8 was. I didn't know who DPS was. I didn't know none of these. Shouto, I didn't know none of these motherfuckers. But all I knew is that they had, at the time, I had 300 subscribers compared to people with 30K, 40K, 600K, 100K, 250K, I'm like, man, look, even if I do craft the best verse here, it's not gonna matter to the fans because I'm unknown. So I said, to get the fans, I have to say some shit that not even their favorites will say. And that's how the line came about. I definitely won't say you're lying because, like I said, and that's what I try to teach all the new people coming into the scene, or maybe not new, just like they don't have that much recognition. I'm like, well, you gotta, and people have tried to quote against me for saying some of the stuff I say, like when I try to advise the younger people on how to go about it. I've had people say, yeah, well, Diggz, don't try to tell them that. I'm like, how could you not tell me not to tell them that when it's literally worked? Like, I was like, so I'm not saying it as to try to diminish anybody or push anybody in the wrong way. I'm just telling you, you also have to look at this as a factor, X, Y, and Z, and all that. You can't ignore anything. So the shit you ignore might be the shit that have you blow up. Like, so it's like, I was like, had I ignored trying to be funny on the cipher, I probably wouldn't be known by people today. People probably would have heard that Soma verse and be like, yeah, I don't know who the fuck it is. Who the fuck this guy is, but he was all right. Like, people probably would have ignored the shit out of that verse. So it's like, I look, like I said, I tell people, it's more mental than physical at the end of the day. Like, you have to understand how you're going to do something if you want a certain type of result. Like, at least try. You might not get it, but it's better than not doing anything at all and trying to follow everyone else's footprints. Nah, that's not what makes you, quote unquote, that's not what creates a more unique legacy in my eyes. You got to do something the way you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think, I mean, I feel like it goes without saying that a lot of this stuff applies well outside of nerdcore, but I think there is like a sense sometimes of where people see somebody doing something successfully, and they think that the way to become successful is to do what that person is doing, as if it's like a one-size-fits-all formula. But it's like, the reason why they're successful doing that is because them doing that is what works. And like, probably what works for you is you doing your thing. Like, it might be similar, but it's, you know, everybody doing their best version of something, whatever that looks like, is what is, like, A, going to be sustainable, and B, going to get people's attention. Because I think people really resonate with authenticity, but also, like, I mean, obviously, like, it's very important to be true to yourself and express yourself, but I think a lot of people, they get kind of stuck on the first half of that, where it's like, they're like, okay, I want to just, you know, be like true to myself and like never change anything about my style, never continue to develop, you know, kind of say like, oh, I'm already good, I don't need to either improve or change or adapt anything, you know. But the thing is like,
basically they get, oh, my fault, go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, I think I was just gonna say what you were gonna say, is that they get stuck or they stagnate, like,
yeah, I was about to say they basically get complacent and just like, all right, yeah, because
it's really like, it's not enough just to be good at something. Like, it can definitely be frustrating to like hear or work through or think about, but like, getting good at something is only half of what it takes for like anyone to, like, you have to make people care that you're doing it. Like, first you have to make people see you. Like, you have to be good enough at something to like warrant doing it. You have to get people's attention, and you have to make them like want to stick around. And I feel like a lot of people can do one or the other. They can get people's attention, or they have like enough, like a high enough level of quality to where once they do get somebody's attention, that person will stick around. But I mean, like, doing both, like, you know, working on like on being interesting, like being something that is attention grabbing, you know, while also maintaining a high level of quality. Because I think it can also be like, it can be frustrating when you know that you're good, but you don't know why nobody is paying attention to you. And I think that can also be a place where people get stuck. And they're like, oh, you know, I already put in my time. I already got good at whatever it is, whether it's, you know, nerdcore rap or anything. Like, I already got good at doing this, like, and nobody's paying attention to me, and I'm just gonna like be upset about it and not change anything or adapt or figure out why. I mean, obviously there is an element of you know, of randomness, of, you know, getting lucky, you know, having connections. But I mean, I've seen it happen in in any number of ways where somebody thinks that all they need is just a shout out from some big name, and that's what'll like catapult them to, to success. When like you might have you could get any number of shout outs, and people don't stay because you haven't built up your product or your brand.
That's absolutely true. That's like that, and that's also what I be trying to tell them. I'm like, yo, just don't think just because you get on one of these ciphers or you get on a collab with somebody who has a brand and can can in a sense co-sign, because the collab is a co-sign in itself. I'm like, don't think just because you can get that it's gonna immediately pole vault you forward to where you're just I guess being goated, beast, and whatever term you want to use in this Western era. I'm like, you still have to have quality after whatever it is got people's attention. Like, all right, you got their attention. Now, then what? Then what? After you get their attention, then what? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do next? Like, and that leads into the second part of planning. Like, again, I did my research. I was basically Batman for the first couple of months here. I'm like, all right, what do people do here, right? I'm like, all right, I'm listening, character-based rap. I'm like, all right, I pretty much got the gist of that. Everybody's in that form. They just switch it up to a way they wanted to do. I said, but where's the creativity? Who's being unique here? Who's doing something out of the box? And that's when I came up with the ideas. I said, you know what? I said I took the reason why I got into anime and made it a series, which is the waifu raps. Like everybody, I'm not like everybody else, or maybe some people are like me. I didn't get into anime because of action and all that other junk, which is fun. You would think that'd be the reason why with my first anime I ever seen, which is Dragon Ball. But it's pretty well known now that the first episode of Dragon Ball I seen was when Bulma gets naked and shows her body to Master Roshi. I'm 9 years old seeing this shit. Like, wait a second. Like, I think I hit puberty that day. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I hit puberty that fucking day. Like, so I took that. I'm like, all right, there's nobody here really. And I paid attention too. I was like, when the guy usually does a female anime rap, they do it in the same way they do for a male anime rap. They talk about her strengths, her weaknesses. If she's a badass, they mention that. They mention it basically same shit, but from the perspective of like, all right, you're a guy rapping about a female character. I said, nobody raps about or I'll put it in two ways. If this female character was real, what would you do to her? Or if you're in a relationship, projecting or personifying the person you're with as the female character. I said, nobody here does that. And I said, boom, I'm gonna go for it. And that's when the first waifu rap came out. And now, even though I had waifu raps before that, but they were so far back in my channel that unless you went through my videos, you wouldn't know. So that's what I was like, all right, let me do it and see how it works. And everybody came like, yo, bro, this is different. Like, what the fuck, Diggz? So, and I was like, hey, bro, I'm just doing what I do, bro. Like,
I think that's that is also like 100% what like goes with what I was saying about like people resonate with authenticity, because like that's everything you do is just like 100% Diggz. Like, it's just unmistakable, you know. It's whether it's just like there's no difference between like the person you are on the mic and then the person that you just are. Like, obviously we all have our like, you know, our like somewhat our personas or stage, you know, kind of stage attitudes we step into, but like you're talking about, you know, putting your, you know, like real feelings for a significant other into a song, or just like talking about like I mean, because in your songs, you talk about the things that you like in anime or in real life, and you put them in the context of anime, and I mean that's something that I found really inspirational. It's just like, uh, there's different things that are like important to me, and those like I want to talk about those in my music. I don't want to just do
Yeah.
reference character name. Uh, I want to I want to talk about I want to talk about real life stuff in the context of anime because it's it's something that I can relate to. It's the same way as like when I'm watching an anime, I'm relating it to stuff in my real
Yeah.
life. I was listening to while I was driving around, I was listening to some old hieroglyphics songs. Um,
Yeah.
and there I don't remember which song it was. But there was one where they just did like a ton of like Marvel references in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the 90s, I think, when that came out, and like it reminded me like a how much like nerdcore has in common with like 90s hip hop because there was a lot of comic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then B, just like how they did it is they're using these like analogies and metaphors the same way that people in a song might use references to like mythology or history or whatever, or literature to draw a parallel between their own life and some kind of fiction. Like to me, that's really when it's the most powerful. And I think like in terms of like my own songs that I'm proudest of, it's always the ones where I like where I put like a lot of myself into the song. And yeah, like I think it's just a really like I think it's a really powerful and important thing to do is to recognize like how and where like your own life and personality shows up in your music. I was also thinking, like, just to kind of take it back a little bit, when we were talking about, like, the sort of the so what of people showing up on on your channel and needing to give them a reason to stay. It reminded me of just like DPS and Shwabadi and some other folks like talking about the importance of having a back catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Like making sure that you have like consistent uploads, that you've got stuff for people to like land and go through, because it's like when you have when your first thing that you do is like you're on somebody else's track, and then people go to your channel and you have like no videos or one video. Like if you're lucky, they might subscribe and like wait patiently for your next thing to come out. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've had any number of people in the past few months, especially now that I've got like over 50 songs in my back catalog on my channel. Like I'll get a bunch of notifications, and then I look and it's the same person just commenting on like 10 or 12 of my songs. And then like sometimes you can see like at what point they subscribe, and it's like they watched like 6 songs and then they subscribed. Sometimes I just think like, if I didn't have this back catalog, like would they not have subscribed? Is that how many it takes? Like I'm just different for everybody, but yeah. I don't know. You really do have to give people a so what. I think you have to give yourself a so what. You have to first find your own so what in life in general, and also in art. Like the reason that you want to make stuff, which I think has to do a lot with like putting yourself into your art. Then you have to find the so what for other people, like the reason why other people are interested in what you want to stick around.
Yeah, and then sometimes you just got to be willing willing to take the risk. Like I already knew the risk of being Diggz on tracks because like I said, I paid attention to a lot of things here, and especially when I found somebody who does similar music as me, or if not even worse, if people want to call it that way. And by worse it means how it may come off at first to a new listener. That I don't want people to hear at by worse and think I mean like it's trash. No, it just some people just react differently to things that don't usually happen. So, and I took a notice to Savvy, and I was like, all right, Savvy has the bars and stuff here where she says some off the wall shit. Now, most of Savvy's fan base, at least the way I looked at it when I first got here, I was like, it's a lot of fucking simps here. So they're not going to be cringy at some of the shit she says. If anything, sadly, it might make them horny and it might turn them on, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I said, but at the end of the day, I'm a guy. That's not going to work for me. So I said, so when I started doing waifu raps and putting hella sexual lyrics and all, I said I knew the risk of this totally backfiring and being completely cringy to people. So I said, I can't just blatantly say this shit. I can't just blatantly say lines about pussy and all. I can't just do. I said, I got to make it saucy. I got to make it swaggy. I got to make it to the point that when women hear these songs, they're like, all right, this motherfucker, like, hey, all right, Diggz. Like, so, like, I basically I knew the risk. I knew the risk of being me on the track. Like I'm a very goofy person. Most of my jokes tend to be based around sex, so I already knew where the line would be drawn for a fan or a subscriber. But I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't give a fuck. Like I said, what's the worst I got to lose? They don't subscribe. They don't like me. I'm used to having only 300 subscribers. They think I give a fuck if this shit comes off cringy to them. I said, I don't care. Like I'm just gonna do it. And boom, next thing you know, I got people. Hey, Diggz, when the next waifu rap coming out? Hey, it's a song about ass. I bet you Diggz on this song. Like so it and by the way, I need to be on every song about ass. If any artists are listening to this, I need to be on every song about ass. Like,
I mean, I
every song about ass.
I told you this the other day, but Big Booty Thick Thighs is one of the songs that I am most likely to play if handed the aux cord on any given road trip.
Hey man, get lit, bro. It is what it is, and it's crazy because when Shara hit me up to do that song, she hit me up and she first sent me the chorus. Like she sent me in writing. She didn't record it yet. She sent me it in writing, and then she sent me the beat. 15 minutes later, I was done with my verse. She was like, what? I was like, Shara, I said it's about ass. You really think I wasn't going to write this verse this quick? Like. I said the song is about being thick and having some nice ass and thighs. I said, Shari, I could have wrote this verse in my sleep. Like,
she didn't realize that you had that master's degree.
Yeah, bruh. I'm an astrologist, bruh. I tell people all the time.
She didn't realize you were the astrophysicist.
I'm telling you, I study astronomy, bro. Like love asteroids. Like it is what it is, bro.
I mean, bruh,
I'm a man of aesthetics. Like it's
okay.
What I am,
okay,
bro.
What else? she didn't know about that you'd studied all these different ideologies.
Yeah. Bruh, I'm just saying, bruh. It's the reason I got into anime. So why would I change, bruh? I'm not gonna change. And some people try to get on me about it, what was it? Was it in the nerdcore? What's the name when they asked like, Diggz, you ever thought that since because you have a lot of teenage, like. And a lot of the fans of nerdcore seem to be in the teenage. It was like, Diggz, you don't think that's inappropriate for the I'm like, hey, bro, I'm not the one letting them listen to me. Like, I'm not the one. It's not. I'm like, as much as I get where you're coming from and understand it, I still can't hold back the music I want to do worrying about somebody else's kids. That has nothing to do with me. Like
that's a sentiment that I've like really vibed with lately. I mean, like, I think a big part of it was seeing like what like Lil Nas X has been doing lately, and like sort of his rebuttals to people saying like, oh my god, how can you do this in a video? Don't you know that like kids, you know, listen to your music? And he's like, I'm an adult, I'm making music. Like, if you're letting your kids listen to it, that's on you. And I think Cardi B, I think it was Cardi B, said a similar
she said
thing.
it as well.
And it's absolutely true. Like, adults making adult music is not a problem. Like it is not the artist's job to like shield children from consuming content that they shouldn't. You know, it's not like it's a bait and switch either. Like this is bit like you didn't like start off as being like here like come on, like, children, these are like songs for children, and suddenly I'm like rapping about ass. Bruh, like, that's not what it was.
Ain't nobody,
like you've been Diggz.
There's not a person that's a fan of mine. That's a I guess we could call it colleagues because we collab and work together. There's not a person that's a fan of mine, a collabee, a friend anybody who could say, man, Diggz was never like this when he first started. Most of y'all motherfuckers know me from the busing from the meat line. You knew what you were getting when you were listening to me. Like, you knew, you had to know this. There's no way in hell you heard that cypher verse and went to my page and didn't expect that the same shit was just gonna be there. There's no way in hell you heard that line and be like, yo, I'm gonna go to Diggz for some wholesome content. There's no fucking way you heard that line, bro. There's no way, bro.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. If anything, I'm giving you exactly what you followed me for in the first place. You expected some wild shit, you got it. Like, plain and simple.
Could not be fairer than that.
Plain and motherfucking simple. I don't know what else they want me to do. Like, but I will say it's not many opposing arguments. I think people just ask these questions to see how I respond to them. Like, because when I believe, like I said, I believe it was the nerdcore interview when Frost and Kuro asked that, they don't give a fuck. They just probably wanted to, let's see what Diggz says to this. Like, 'cause they listen to me, so, and they like this shit, so I know they don't care. But I think it's just a great question to ask, especially when you see the other side of what I do. I'm very helpful and wholesome with trying to bring people up that don't normally get the recognition. So it's a question that needed to be asked. So, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, you know why you here, right? It wasn't you ain't get no other examples of me before that. You might be one of the few people who heard me from my SoundCloud days, which, if that's the case, then you know me in a different element. Even though the SoundCloud days still had songs like, hey, when we gon' fuck, satisfied, XXX Miss, which is basically a song about sex on Christmas. Like, I still had this shit. I still had the songs dealing with the same shit you expect from a Diggz song.
When are we gonna get the Christmas in the Dig House album?
The Christmas in the I don't know yet.
Christmas in the Doghouse is like my most played Christmas album every year. So you gotta get Christmas in the Dig House.
I'll probably do some shit like that. You never know, bro. I just need the inspiration to really be off my shit and be in the field of doing it, which I always am. And that's the thing. I find it funny how people will be like, yo, Diggz is always horny. I'm never horny when I say these lyrics. I'm never horny when I post all this wild shit I post on Facebook. No, I just do it because that's me, my asshole, and this is the type of shit I'm an asshole with. Like, it's just me. Like, I'm not everybody else. I'm not simping. I'm not down bad. None of that shit, bro. This is literally just me. Like,
there is nothing about Diggz the Prophecy that I would ever want to change, and I I hope nothing ever does.
Bruh, as long as I got control over me, expect the unique bullshit. I like to call it bullshit. Everybody else says I should call it bullshit because it's great content. It's bullshit because when I want to be better, I definitely am and can be better. I just do this shit because I like to have fun with music sometimes. I don't want to drop serious ass songs 24/7, acting like you can't just enjoy making some goofy ass content. Like that's another thing I noticed there. Every fucking song was serious as hell. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'll be the first person to tell you when some shit needs some bars. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, be you on some tracks, bro. If you want to be goofy and you want to say some wild shit, then go ahead and do it, Chief. Like, don't let the way other people might feel about it stop you from being you on your music. Like, or in that case, in life, like as long as you're not like physically or mentally or any other way harming somebody or degrading someone, then be you, bro. It's not a fucking problem. It's only a problem to them because they probably feel some personal connection to it, but that ain't got shit to do with you. Like, I don't know you it ain't my fault you feel this fucking way. I don't even know you. Like,
that's the most inspirational thing I've ever heard. I'm gonna let that be the peak and the cap of the episode because there's nothing I can add to that would say it any better. Diggz, where can people find you online?
You can find me generally everywhere. Like I'm on SoundCloud, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Tidal, I'm on Deezer, and anywhere you listen to music or expect to see somebody. With maybe the exception of Snapchat, because I ain't got time for all that shit. But almost all social media platforms, at least the main ones, Diggz the Prophecy on all of them. That's on Instagram, that's on Twitter, that's on YouTube, that's on SoundCloud, that's on Apple, that's on Spotify. Whatever the main shit is, I'm pretty much on there. Like I said, the far back ones like Snapchat, no, I don't really got time for that shit. So I don't do that, but everywhere else though that mainly we focus on, I'm pretty much there. Everything is Diggz the Prophecy.
Those links are all going to be in the description of this video if you're watching it on YouTube. And since I have this, let me at least give I think I can do shout out. I think I can at least shout out your Twitch in the chat. Let me see if this works.
Hey, yeah, even Twitch. Yeah, Diggz the Prophecy on Twitch. Hey, bro. And I literally made the Twitch for you guys, bro, because we all know I'm not into that. I'm not into the video cam and all that. I like I said, I like being Batman. I like being the mystery to most motherfuckers. But the fans wanted to Twitch. People wanted to see me play games. People want to see me to react to videos, which I might do sometime later. I'm not sure yet, but I generally do most of the stuff to try to please the fans because this is the shit y'all want. This is like I always said I'm a people's person who hates people. Not that I hate my fans. I generally hate motherfuckers on Earth because that's the problem with the planet. It's not the planet, it's the people. But if you're cool at the end of the day, then I'm cool. I just treat people how I want to be treated. So if you treat me like shit, it's coming right back. Like that's all I let people know. But so yeah, that's my philosophy on it. I'm a people person who hates most people. My fans do not fall into that most people category because y'all cool as hell and y'all show support and y'all show love. So I ain't got no reason to not show love back, to not try to give you guys the things you want to see from me, which is why I try to do it. Even though I'm not even gonna lie, most of the shit I'm not even comfortable with. Like I'm not comfortable. I don't like taking pics. I don't like, but I'll do it just because Diggz, like I've never seen how you look, so I'll post a pic. Like just because at the end of the day, the support means enough to me. So I owe my fans something. Even if I don't go completely into it, I owe my fans something because at the end of the day, the fans is what keep the artists around. You might not make the artist makes themselves, but you keep the artists around as a fan. Like nobody would continue. A lot of people, I wouldn't say nobody, because some people are just in it for being the artist, the artistic side of it, which I am too. But definitely having the support and love from other people telling you, yo, I love your music. Your music brings me joy. Yo, you inspire me so much to be better. And all that keeps an artist doing what they do. Whether that might be writing, whether that might be singing, whether that might be illustration, animation, whatever the case may be. You guys are like the glue to the popsicle house. Without y'all, a lot of people would put the pen down and just go on living a traditional life.
Yeah. And I think like I know that like even seeing just like a single comment sometimes from somebody that's just like, hey, this song really, really meant a lot to me. Like that is one of the biggest driving factors as an artist, because it's like you make the thing because you love making it, but it's like you make the next thing because the last thing meant something to somebody. At least that's how it is for me a lot of the time. Let's see. Oh, I keep my socials real simple. So they're different on like every single platform. So it's twitch.tv/freeced with 6 E's in the middle, FREEEEEECED. It's Twitter at me freeced, Instagram at freeced raps, TikTok at freeced. Those are the main ones. YouTube.com/freeced. Actually, that's the most important one. So yeah, check all those links out down below. My links, Diggz' links will all be down there. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. This has been, I think, some of my favorite discussion just on the craft and like the sort of philosophy of being an artist and like being a nerdcore artist right now. I think that maybe we've ever had on the podcast. So thank you so much for coming on, Diggz, and I hope you'll come back.
Anytime, bro. You know I got you, Freeced. Hey, bro. Like I said, anytime, bro. Just ask, and I'm there, bro.
And catch me playing some old Nintendo tennis on a Diggz stream one of these times.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
Which means
we
haven't done that in
eventually.
We've been getting better, y'all. We started out getting smoked, but we're getting better.
We're improving. But until then, this has been the Breakfreeced Club. I've been Freeced. That's Diggzdaprophecy. And see you later. Take care.
Take it easy. Deuces.